Xander finds me next to Kai. He says it's time to get back to work again. Kai's drip was out, I say. I wanted to stay until he looked better. That shouldn't have happened, Xander says. I'll let Ochre know. Good, I say. Ochre's anger will carry much more weight with the village leaders than mine will. I'll be back, I tell Kai, in case he can hear me, as soon as I can. Outside the infirmary, the trees grow right up to the edge of the village buildings. Branches scrape this and sing along with one another. When the wind comes through them, so much life here. Grasses, flowers, leaves, and people walking, talking, and living. I'm sorry about the blue tablets, Xander says. You could have died. It would have been all my fault. No, I say, you didn't know. You never took one, did you? Yes, I say, but I'm fine. I kept going. How? He asked. I kept going by thinking of Kai. But how can I tell Xander that? I just did, I say, and the scraps of the tablets helped. Xander smiles. The secrets you mentioned on one of the scraps, I say, what was it? I'm part of the Rising, Xander says. I thought that might be what you meant, I say. You told me on the port, didn't you? Not in words, I know, but I thought that's what you were trying to say. You're right, Xander says. I did tell you. It wasn't much of a secret, he grins, and then his expression sobers. I've been meaning to ask you about the red tablet. I'm not immune, I say. It works on me. Are you sure? They gave it to me in Central, I say. I'm certain of it. The Rising promised me that you were immune to the red tablets and to the plague, Xander says. Then they either lied to you or made a mistake, I say. That means you would have been vulnerable to the original version of the plague, Xander says. Did you go down with it? Did they give you the cure? No. I understand what's puzzling him. If the red tablets worked on me, then I was never given the initial immunization when I was a baby. So I should have gone down sick with the original plague. But I didn't. I just got the mark. Xander shakes his head, trying to figure it out. I'm sorting through, too. The red tablet works on me. I say, I've never taken the green, and I've walked through the blue. Has anyone else ever walked through the blue? Xander asks. Not that I know of, I say. I had Indy with me, and she helped me keep going. That might have made the difference. What else happened in the canyons? Xander asks. For a long time, I wasn't with Kai at all. I say, we started in a village full of other aberrations. Then 3 of us ran into the carving, me, a boy who died, and Indy. Indy is in love with Kai, Xander says. Yes, I say, I think she is now. But first it was you. She used to steal things and took my microcard and someone else's mini port, and she used it to look at your face whenever she could. And in the end, it was Kai she wanted. Xander says, I detected a note of bitterness in his voice. It's not something I've heard very often before. They flew in the same Rising camp, I say. She saw him all the time. You don't seem angry at her, Xander says. And I'm not. There was a moment of shock and hurt when Kai said that she kissed him, but it vanished when Kai went still. She makes her own way. I say, she does what she wants. I shake my head. It's hard to stay upset with her. I don't understand, Xander says. And I don't think he can. He doesn't really know Indy. He has never seen her lie or cheat to get what she wants. Or realize how among all of that in a strange, inexplicable honesty that is her own. He didn't see her push through the silver water and bring us to safety against all odds. He never knew how she felt about the sea or how badly she wanted a dress made of blue silk. Some things cannot be shared. I can tell him everything that happened in the carving, and he still won't have been there with me. And the same's for him. He could tell me all about the plague and the mutation that followed and what he saw, but I still wasn't there. Watching Xander's face, I see him realize this. He swallows. He's about to ask me something. When he does, it's not what I expect. Have you ever written anything for me? Besides the message, I mean. You did get it? I say. All except for the end, he says. It got ruined. My heart sinks. He doesn't know that what I said, that I told him not to think of me anymore in that way. I wondered, Xander says, if you ever written a poem for me. Wait, I say. Is a paper here. But that is a stick and dark dirt on the ground. And it is, after all, how I learned to write. I hesitate for a moment, glancing back at the infirmary. And then I realize the time for keeping this to ourselves is long past. And if I tried to share it with everyone out in Central, why would I keep it from Xander? All the same, it feels intimate to write with Xander. It means more. I close my eyes for a moment trying to think of something, and then it comes to me, an extension of the poem I had with the words that made me think of Xander. I begin to write. Xander, I say, pausing. What? He asks. He doesn't lift his eyes from my hands. If they're capable of the miracle, and he can finally witness what it is. I thought about you in the carving too, I say. I dreamed of you. Now, he does look at me, and I find I can't hold his gaze. Something deep, I feel, makes me look down, and I write. Dark, dark, dark it was, but the physic's hands was light. He knew the cure, he held the balm to heal our wings for flight. Xander reads it over, his lips move. Physic, he says, softly. His expression looks pained. You think I can heal people, he says. I do. Just then, some of the children from the village come down the path across us. As if we're one person, Xander and I stand up at the same time and watch them go by. They're playing a game I've never seen before. One where they pretend to be something else. Each child is dressed as an animal. Some use grass to make fur, others use leaves for feathers. And they are still more with wings lashed together, made of branches and of blankets that will be used again to warm at night. The repurposing of nature and scraps for creation reminds me of the gallery, and I wonder if the people back in Central have found another place to gather and share, or if they don't have time for all that anymore, with the mutation on the loose and no cure in sight. What would it have been like if we could do that? Xander asks. What? I ask. To be whatever we wanted, he says. What if they let us do that when we were younger? I thought about this, especially when I was in the carving. Who am I? What am I meant to be? I think how lucky I am, in spite of society, to have dreamed so many such wild things. Part of this, of course, because of grandfather, who always challenged me. Remember Oria? Xander asks. Yes, I remember. All of it. It's all clear and close again. Two of us matched, holding hands on the air train on our way home from the banquet. My head in the nape of his neck as I dropped the compass down his shirt so he could save Kai's artifact from the officials. Even then, the three of us were doing our best to keep faith with one another. Remember the day planting new roses? He asked. I do, I say, thinking of the kiss and the only one we had. My heart aches for us both. The air here in the mountains is sharp even in the summer. Bites at us, twists our hair, puts our tears in our eyes. Standing here with Xander among the mountain in everything and nothing is like standing with Kai on the edge of the carving. I reach out my hand and take Xander's. My palm is streaked wet with dirt from writing with the stick. And as I look at it with thinking of Xander and the new rose roots hanging down. The wind moves and the children dance towards the village stone. And light as air, another cottonwood seed of memory comes to me. My mother's hands are printed black with dirt, and I can see the white lines cross her palms when she lifts up the seedlings. We're standing in the plant nursery at our room. The glass roof overhead and the steamy mist inside bills the cool of the spring morning out. Bram made it to school on time, I say. Thank you for letting me know, she says, smiling at me. On a rare day when both she and Father have to go to work early, it's my responsibility to get Bram to his early train for first school. Where are you going now? You have a few minutes left before work. I might stop by and see Grandfather, she says. It's all right to deviate from the usual routine this way because Grandfather's banquet is coming soon. So is mine. We have many things to discuss. Of course, she says. She's transferring the seedlings from the tubes where they started, row in the tray, and their new homes, little pots filled with soil. She lifts one of the seedlings out. It doesn't have many roots, she says. Not yet, I say. They will come. I gave her a quick kiss and started off again. I'm not supposed to linger in her workplace. I have an air train to catch. Getting up early with Bram has given me a little extra time, but not much. The spring wind is playful, pushing me one way, pulling me another, and it spins some of the last fall leaves up into the air. I wonder if I climbed up on the air train platform and jumped, if the spiral of the wind could catch me and take me up twirling. I cannot think of falling without thinking of flying. I could do it, I think, if I found a way to make wings. Someone comes up next to me, and I pass by a tangled world of a hill on my way to the air train stop. Cassia raised, the worker asked. The knees of her plain clothes are darkened with soil, like my mother's when she's been working. The woman is young and a few years older than me. She has something in her hand, more roots dangling down, pulling out the planting. I wonder. Yes, she says. I need to speak with you, she says. A man emerges from the hill behind her. He's the same age as she is, and something about them makes me think they would have been a good match. I never had permission to go on the hill. I look back up at the riot of plants and forest behind the workers. What is it like in a place so wild? I need you to sort something for us, the man says. I'm sorry, I say, moving again. I only sort at work. They are not officials. They are not my superior supervisors. This isn't protocol, and I don't bend rules for strangers. It's to help your grandfather, the girl says. I stop. Cassia, Cass asks, are you all right? Yes, I say. I'm still staring down at my hands, wishing I could close it tight around the rest of my memory. I know it belongs with the lost Red Garden Day. I'm certain this, though I can't say why. Xander looks like he's about to say something more, but the children are coming back from their game, having circled all the way around the village stone. They are loud and laughing, and the children should be. The little girl smiles at Xander, and he smiles back, reaching out to touch her wings as she passes. She turns at the wrong moment and catches nothing.